Welcome into Jungle Tales, a Pirate Baseball podcast. On deck for East Carolina this weekend is the 22nd Annual Keith LeClair Classic, and the Pirates will begin play in the Keith LeClair Classic against Kent State. Kent State, a late ad, and glad to have the Golden Flashes coming to Greenville for this event. And right now, to preview that matchup, very excited to be joined by their longtime head coach in his 12th season, and that is Jeff Duncan. Coach, we appreciate your time today.
Thanks for having me. Looking forward to being there this weekend.
Yes, sir. And before we dive into this team specifically, just tell us about how that came to be, because I believe it was perhaps Army was going to be participating, and they had something, where they had to play one of the other academies. And as a result, Kent State's able to take part in, like I said, this 22nd Annual Keith LeClair Classic.
Yeah, no, actually, we were supposed to go to Southern Indiana this weekend, and I had made the deal to go down there with Tracy Archuleta, who's now the head coach at Indiana State, and he had left Southern Indiana. Well, it ended up being that our contract was completely different to go down there and play at Southern Indiana. So I saw the opening with the East Carolina weekend, this upcoming weekend, and we were able to make it happen. So we kind of flip-flopped out of Southern Indiana and decided to go. Once Army dropped out, we slid into the tournament, and we're really excited about it.
Yeah, man, always a great event. East Carolina, Kent State, Virginia Tech, and Indiana State. Obviously, Indiana State's had so much success in recent years. Virginia Tech's had their run of success as well. And before we dive into this team specifically, I want to talk a little about your time there, and even prior to your time at Kent State. I remember that run back in 2012 and that the Golden Flashes had to Omaha, and I believe the Golden Flashes and Stony Brook were there that year. A very memorable CWS, and back then, you were at Purdue?
I was. They had to go. Kent State went through Purdue to get to Omaha.
So then, kind of where I was going with that, having that exposure to the Kent State program, competing against them in that, I believe it was a Gary, Indiana regional,
Yep.
you knew fully what this program was capable of.
No doubt. It's had a great tradition. Goes all the way back. Really, a lot of success since Thurman Munson played here, and his last year was 1969. But the real championship success started in 1992 when Danny Hall was here, who's now the head coach, longtime head coach at Georgia Tech, and then Rick Rembolak preceded him, and then Scott Strickland, who later went to Georgia, preceded Rick Rembolak, and then obviously when Strick left for Georgia, I got the opportunity to be the head coach here. I've been here 11 years. It's been a great ride.
So this 12th edition of the Golden Flashes, under your tenure, you guys started play down in Mobile, Alabama, South Alabama, a member of the Sun Belt Conference, one of the top 5 or 6 conferences in all of college baseball. You played 3 different opponents. Tell us about opening weekend.
Yeah, it was a weekend we certainly had to get our feet wet. We haven't, unfortunately, we haven't had a whole lot of chance to practice outside. I mean, we're a half hour south of Lake Erie, a half hour south of Cleveland. So we've had one of those type of winters. It's been the worst winter we've had in the 11 years I've been here. I'm in my truck right now, and I'm looking out, and there's still a couple inches of snow. So it's been one of those types of deals where we've been inside quite a bit, but we got our feet wet down there at South Alabama. Game one, lost a tough one to South Al, and then didn't play well against Southern Illinois. And then this past weekend we were at Mercer. We actually played a lot better than we did in week one. And Mercer's got a really good club, but in all 3 games we had either a base runner at home plate or on the base pass to either tie or win in each game in the 9th. So we put ourselves in positions to win. We just didn't get it done this weekend.
Yeah, I noticed that those three games were very competitive: 9-5, 7-6, and 7-5.
Yep.
And yeah, I appreciate that information regarding exactly how close those ball games were. Taking a look at your lineup, a guy that obviously stands out and hitting 474, even if you have only played 6 games, a senior right fielder, Jake Casey, and he also has a couple of doubles and a triple.
Yeah, no, he's off to a great start. Especially the Mercer series. He's really stepped up, man. He swung it really good. He's got, he was one of the better draft prospects in our league last year, and then underwent a surgery, the Tommy John surgery, and he's an outfielder, which is rare for something like that to happen, but unfortunately had to go through surgery, and then he has come back here in his senior year, and he's lived up to a lot of expectations, because he's actually the son of Sean Casey, legendary. But Jake is forming his own little legacy here. If he continues to do what he's doing, he's been phenomenal. He's got power to all fields, and he's moving to baseball, which has been a big goal for him going into this year, just making contact and moving the baseball around, and he's doing a really good job of that.
Another veteran, although new to your program, Hayden Yatsik, a grad transfer, third baseman, 6'5", 230, from Saginaw Valley State. He's hitting right around 400 thus far, and has already produced 5 doubles.
Yeah, he's a very gifted hitter. He's got a really good eye, really good strike zone awareness. He was the Division II Player of the Year at Saginaw Valley State last year. He had like 470 with 18 homers. He's a real threat in the middle of our order. Just one of those guys that I honestly think could play at the next level as well. He can just really hit no matter the situation. In today's age, you can come around players that have a tough time. They struggle with when there's guys on base and things like that. And he just knows, he knows how to hit. He can handle fastballs. He can handle breaking balls. He's got a really good approach and a big time presence in the middle of our order. He's been a great addition for us.
And in addition to those 2 vets, you have a freshman, first baseman Sawyer Solitaria, that's hitting a little over 300 and leads your team with 2 home runs already.
Yep, and he's got 8 RBIs. I think he leads our team with 8 RBIs as well. Just a guy who's got big time power to all fields. Obviously he's young in his career, but I think he's got a chance to have a really good career. Very simple swing, but man, he's got power. He really does, and he's a certain. I mean, for a freshman to be hitting in our 4-hole, I think that's pretty impressive, and he's been in that realm since day one.
Outside of that trio, if you would, tell us about some of those other guys positionally and what they bring to your lineup.
Yeah, we've got Luke Matthews, a shortstop, and Brody Williams. That 2 guys that come to mind right away. Brody Williams is our catcher. He's another guy who's off to a really good start. He's played, I think, 5 out of our first 6 games. With him being a catcher, he sat out the first weekend on Sunday, but he caught for us this past weekend, Friday, Saturday, and then DH'd on Sunday. He's starting to heat up with the bat. I like the way he's swinging it. He'll hit in our 5 or 6 hole. He's been really good, really good. I've liked what I've seen from him, and he's a top notch receiver with good arm strength as well, and he's been a good leader. So I'm excited about Brody Williams, and then Luke Matthews is a guy we got from Palomar Community College. Kind of an interesting story. He had originally committed to Cal State Bakersfield, and Cal State Bakersfield had a coaching change, and he flipped to us. He played in the Northwoods League this summer. We saw him and really liked him. and he's been a great addition. He brings some speed, but he's obviously a real leader, being in the middle, having being in the middle of the field for us, playing shortstop. I really like his game. He can handle the bat, move the baseball, runs well, can bunt, and very good defender. So he's been a very good addition for us as well. And then I also want to talk about Micah Kirikoff, our center fielder, is a freshman as well, very athletic. Um, he's a guy that certainly somebody to watch, very exciting player, a really good runner, really good hand speed at the plate. Plays very good defense, and there's a little flash to him. He's very exciting, and another guy to watch.
Shifting over and taking a look at your pitching staff, I did notice that you've used the same Friday guy each of the first 2 weekends, and so if you would tell us about him and then the rest of your rotation, and also on what you bring to the table from a bullpen standpoint.
Yeah, Gavin Jones is a transfer from University of Alabama. This is his second year here. He's fit in nicely. It's the first time starting in a starting role in his college career. He relieved for us last year. Maybe had one spot start against Troy, if I remember, last year. But he's been very good. Mid-90s fastball, good breaking ball. As long as he lands the breaking ball, his fastball then plays up. Just a really big arm, very, very physical, and he's done a very nice job on Friday nights to this point. And then Saturday has been Eric Chalice, and Sunday's been Jake Bean. Jake Bean's a freshman with a very good arm. He's been mid-90s, even can start climbing around the upper 90s at times when the time is right. Fastball slider change. He's young. Sophomore, really live arm, very live, draft prospect in the future. I think just getting his feet wet right now, and I think he'll be a huge impact starter for us as the season goes. And I'm not sure on our rotation quite yet. We may make some changes this weekend. But I will say that, Gavin Jones will be a starter on the weekend, and most likely Jake Bean.
As far as relief options, who have you seen through these first 6 games that you really believe you can rely on?
Peyton Carrico, left-handed pitcher for us, is a guy we've had in late games. He'll probably serve as our closer, but because we've got just one win so far, he hasn't been out there. We did put him in a situation last night where he finished the game and went 3 innings, pitched well. Nick Gaitis, left-handed pitcher, another transfer we got from a Division III in Pennsylvania, and he's been very good. He's been our top reliever out of the bullpen to this point. I'd like to see Caden Leonard pitch well this weekend as well, and as he's had a pretty solid career up to this point, and like to get him going here for us this year.
Final question for you, as you prepare for this event, obviously, I'm sure your players, seeing East Carolina as well as Indiana State and Virginia Tech playing in regionals and even super regionals here in recent years. So what have you told your team as far as this environment that they're going to be in this weekend at Clark LeClair Stadium in the jungle?
I haven't told them anything yet, as we're off today, but I will tell them they're going to one of the best college baseball atmospheres in the country. I've been there when I was at Purdue as an assistant. We had played there. What a great atmosphere, especially when you're going to play East Carolina on Friday night. It's going to be a great atmosphere at the jungle. Great program. Have all the respect in the world for all 3 programs we're going to face this weekend, especially East Carolina. I think Cliff's done a great job there. And it's just a great opportunity for us to compete against a team that, like you said, has been in super regionals, hosted super regionals. And that's our goal this year, is to get, to a regional and super regional. And if we want to get there, we've got to play teams like that. And it's going to be a great opportunity for us.
Coach, again, we appreciate the time, and safe travels to you and the Golden Flashes as you make your way to Greenville, and best of luck throughout 2025.
Yeah, thank you so much. Look forward to seeing you all out there, and it'll be a great weekend, and especially be a great weekend for Kent State, and just having the opportunity to be out there.
Yes, sir. Pirate Nation, that is Kent State head coach Jeff Duncan. We appreciate his time today, joining us here on deck as we get you ready for the 22nd Annual Keith LeClair Classic this weekend. The Pirates and Kent State will square off at 4:30 at Clark LeClair on Friday afternoon. But be sure to follow us on social media, on X and Instagram. You can find us at Jungle Tales Pod, and then on YouTube, Facebook, and Spotify. We can be found by simply searching Jungle Tales, a Pirate Baseball podcast. But for Kent State head coach Jeff Duncan, I'm Bubba Rosenbaum, and we'll talk to you soon here on Jungle Tales. Take care, everyone, and as always, go Pirates.